I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, my homies, what's poppin', man? Another week, another breakdown. This one's gonna be Paulo Costa taking on Marvin Vettori in the main event. It's not a weird main event like last week. This is a fire main event. Yeah, coming off a pretty okay week betting wise. You know, I went hard on Manon Fiorot. So we've got her in some parlays for this card. Hopefully the fighters that we've put her with can cash those parlays. So yeah, as always guys, make sure you hamzat smash the like button. And man, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that too. Guys, 50% of people who view this breakdown not subscribed. Unbelievable. But you know, let's spark up for the people that are gonna subscribe. And you know, man, just try break down some fights, make some good predictions. Alright my homies, let's do it, let's break them down. And really quick, just before we get into the breakdowns, shout out to McMasterPeak. 100% gonna rock the OG parlay, Miller and Arlovski, plus 180. And he cashed it. He cashed it. The Carlos Felipe and Arlovski fight was close. But still, the OG parlay, man, it cashed. Team OG, man. So yeah, shout out to McMasterPeak. Alright, we've got Laureano Staropoli taking on Jamie Pickett. Oh my goodness, how do we even make a prediction? You know, Laureano Staropoli done some nice work coming into the UFC. Beat Thiago Alves, beat Hector Aldana. But then he's got losses to Muslim Salikov, which isn't a bad loss. Lost to Tim Means, again, not a bad loss. And then he stepped up a weight class, which he is staying in this weight class at middleweight. And he got out-grappled by Roman Dolidze. Man, to be honest, all of those losses are okay. They're not bad losses. Jamie Pickett just hasn't done enough for me to pick him here. You know, against Tafon and Chukwi, it's not a bad loss, to be honest, but just didn't look good. Now against Jordan Wright, there's no defending this one. This was a bad loss, got completely obliterated as well. You know, it wasn't like it was close. It was over straight away. You know, the fight was over before it even started, really. You know, the fight starts and then Jordan Wright just goes mental. And Jamie Pickett crumbles. Now, is Laureano Staropoli going to go all out guns blazing the way Jordan Wright did? Probably not. I think he probably picks apart Jamie Pickett. See what I done there, guys? Yeah, I don't feel real confident laying any money on this one, but I'm going to side with the Argentine, Laureano Staropoli. Just think he's maybe a little bit more skillful than Jamie Pickett when it comes to striking and fight IQ. You know, Jamie Pickett doesn't seem the most intelligent, but maybe he can show me something in this one. We'll see. My betting line, I'm going to say Staropoli wins this one 7 times out of 10. So you'd go just over minus 200. And we've got him bang at minus 200. Alright guys, Khama Worthy taking on Jai Herbert. I actually think this one is a difficult prediction to make, to be honest. Both of these guys are on 2-fight losing streaks. You look at Jai Herbert's debut. He was doing well against Francisco Trinaldo. But one punch, as we know, it can change the fight, and that's exactly what happened there. And Dan Hardy, you know, stop the fight, stop the fight. Hilarious. And then he took on Renato Moicano, where we saw with Moicano, man, the grappling was the difference. Now, Khama Worthy came into the UFC and destroyed Devontae Smith. Then he got a nice underdog win against Luis Pena, which was quite surprising, to be honest. Now, since then, he's lost back-to-back fights getting knocked out. Jamie Malarkey and Otman Azatar. I don't think Jai Herbert's going to knock him out. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to knock him out. If Jai Herbert does win this one, I think it's probably going to be a decision. You know, if you ask me who's the better boxer, I would say it's Jai Herbert. But not when it comes to power. You know, who's the more powerful here? I would say it's Khama. You look at what he done to Devontae. You know, that's a powerful guy. So if anyone's going to get a stoppage, I would say it's probably going to be Khama. But if anyone's going to rack up the points, rack up the output, I would say it's Jai Herbert. So yeah, a little bit of a difficult prediction to make. I'm going to side with Khama. I've got a feeling that he's going to clip Jai Herbert and put him down. But if I'm wrong, you know, Jai Herbert's an English guy. So yeah, win-win situation. My numbers, I keep them real close. I'm going to put both of these guys minus 110. And the actual numbers, we've got Khama plus 150. Wow, I disagree. So the bookies are leaning more towards Jai Herbert in this one. And the money is going on Jai Herbert. Yeah, so it's a good fight though. It's a tough prediction. Alright guys, we've got Tabatha Ricci taking on Maria Oliveira. And I'm going to spark up and there's a few reasons why. Alright, the first reason. Tabatha Ricci is thicker than a...
thicker than a sneaker.
You know what I'm saying? You know, she's thick back there. Second reason. Tabatha Ricci's octagon name is Baby Shark. And that's dope. And the last reason is going to be because Ricci is a jiu-jitsu player. And jiu-jitsu players love to smoke weed. So yeah, triple amen on those reasons. Now the opponent, Maria Oliveira. She should probably look at this matchup and basically say to herself, look, I don't want to grapple with Ricci. I don't want to allow her to use the jiu-jitsu. So if I'm Maria Oliveira, I'm looking to just kickbox. I'm looking to make this one a kickboxing matchup. If she can do that, then she might have a chance. But the Baby Shark is looking to grapple. You know, she's looking to take Maria to the mat. And she probably does. And if she can take Maria to the world of jiu-jitsu, it's probably just a matter of time. So my prediction is going to be round 1, round 2. Ricci gets that submission. You know, it's one of these matchups where if you're Ricci, you don't want to lose. Because if you do, now you're 0-2. And if you're Maria, coming into the UFC 0-1, it's not looking good. So you could say that it's a must-win fight for both girls. I'm going to side with the Baby Shark, the jiu-jitsu. My numbers on this one, I'd give Ricci at least a minus 200. I'd maybe go deeper, but I don't know too much about Maria. I have seen a little bit of tape, you know, I've seen her taken to the mat, and that's ultimately why I'm going to side with the jiu-jitsu player. Ricci minus 220, Maria plus 180. You know, if Maria can just kickbox, the plus 180 is looking good. But if Ricci takes it to the mat, that minus 220 potentially as a parlay piece, it's looking good. So yeah, I'm going to go Baby Shark, thicker than a snicker. Tabatha Ricci. Let's go. Alright, we've got Junyong Park, the Iron Turtle, taking on Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Man, the octagon names. Fire. But then again, if you've just done a breakdown last week and one of the octagon names was the Beverly Hills Ninja, you know, all of these octagon names are going to be fire. But yeah, the breakdown on this one, guys, what can we say? Looking at Gregory Rodrigues with the debut, you know, just total obliteration. Dusko Todorovic hasn't got good striking defense, and Gregory Rodrigues basically showed us that again. You know, just a beautiful performance. Now, Junyong Park debuted against Anthony Hernandez. That fight didn't go too well. Since then, you know, he's winning these matchups. And if you take a look at the matchups that he is winning, you know, he's basically doing the same thing. Against Marc Andre, he grappled. Against John Phillips, he basically replicated what Khamzat done. And then against Tafon and Chukwi, you know, again, it's the grappling. So if Junyong Park can continue to just grapple these guys, I guess he's going to get a win here. It's for Gregory Rodrigues to put a stop to what Junyong Park is doing. If he can stop the takedown and keep it striking, you know, he's got every chance in the world to win this one. It really comes down to exactly what I just said. If Gregory can put a stop to this grapple heavy game plan that Junyong Park is looking to implement, he can win. It's a good matchup. I wouldn't be super confident either side, but I'm going to side with the Brazilian. My numbers on this one, got to keep them close. I'd put Gregory Rodrigues minus 130, Junyong Park plus 100. And the actual numbers, we've got Gregory Rodrigues plus 100, Junyong Park minus 120, minus 130. So the bookies are basically saying it's the other way around. You know, Junyong Park is the slight favourite to continue with the grapple heavy game plan. But then you've got Gregory Rodrigues, who is even money to put a stop to that. I like the striking in the debut. You know, the accuracy. So if we're in a striking battle, the plus money, in my opinion, is going to look good. So yeah, I'll take the Brazilian. Alright, we've got Jeff Molina taking on Daniel Lacerda. Man, this matchup looks pretty nasty, to be honest. You know, you look at that debut from Jeff Molina, super nasty. So we can see that Jeff Molina is a tough guy. You know, if the fight gets a little bit dirty, Jeff Molina, he's game to stay in that fight. Now the opponent is Daniel Lacerda, making his debut, so I had to watch a little bit of tape on this guy. Now my breakdown on Daniel is going to be, this guy's a kicker. You know, he's looking to kick the calf, kick the head, kick the body, spin with the kicks. This guy's a kicker, you know. I think in round one, Daniel Lacerda, he's going to be at his most dangerous. You know, potentially could finish Jeff Molina with a head kick. But let's say this matchup leaves round one. Depending on how much damage Daniel has done with those kicks, I think it probably runs out of time. You know, what I mean with that is, if the kicks aren't the result of round one, or he doesn't get that kick finish in round one, can he continue to use that style? Jeff Molina is a really tough guy, so it might take more than just kicks to get this guy out of there. And that's ultimately why I'm going to side with El Jefe, Jeff Molina. You know, I am low-key looking forward to this matchup because you look at the tape of Daniel and you see the spinning kicks, the high kicks. They look dangerous. But can the kicks of Daniel be the result? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Jeff Molina, with his well-rounded game, specifically the boxing and potentially the takedowns. You know, he could look to mix it up here against Daniel Lacerda. So that one's going to be my prediction. I'll take Jeff Molina. And my numbers, I would put Jeff around minus 170. Because that first round, like I say, Daniel Lacerda is going to fire the kicks. And they are dangerous kicks too. And the actual numbers, we've got Jeff Molina minus 150 up to minus 160. So yeah, potentially some value in this line on Jeff Molina, depending on how highly you rate Daniel Lacerda. You know, what I'm seeing is just purely a kicker. So yeah, my prediction, El Jefe. Man, maybe we just smoke break on this prediction, you know? Now, guys, we've got to break it down. We do have to break this one down, but I hope everyone listening to this specific breakdown, I hope you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? You don't deserve my money. This matchup does not deserve my money. So yeah, man, I hope you guys are thinking along those lines. But we have Livinha Souza, the Brazilian gangster, taking on Randa, Quiet Storm Markos. Randa Markos has a lot of experience in the UFC. You know, she's fought a lot of girls, man. Let's look at these names. Alexa Grasso, Carla Esparza, Nina Nunes, Marina Rodrigues, Angela Hill, Claudia Gadela, Amanda Ribas, Mackenzie Dern. You know, she's fought a lot of good girls. But the problem with Randa Markos, you know, she's pretty one-dimensional. If it's not top control, then she's basically losing the fight. You know, you look back to her fight against... Man, you have to go back a few. Look at her fight against Claudia Gadela. You know, she was avoiding the ground game against Claudia. But what was she doing on the feet? Nothing. And it's crazy because Randa believed that she won that fight as well. And you're watching it thinking, in what world? In what world? Now looking at Livinha Souza with her UFC career. You know, she got the nice UFC debut win. Displayed her jiu-jitsu. Against Sarah Frotter. You know, this one was close because she was struggling to get the takedown. Now you look against Brianna Van Buren. She couldn't get the takedown in this one and it was just domination. Against Ashley Yoder, a girl who pretty much anyone can beat. You know, it wasn't domination, but she did beat Ashley Yoder. Looking at her most recent performance against Amanda Lemos, you know, obliteration. So you're looking at this matchup and you're trying to make a prediction. Randa Markos, if she can get the top control, I do favour her. But if Livinha Souza can strike, then I guess I kind of favour her. You know, it's a horrible matchup. You know, I'm trying to make money on these UFC cards. And this is a matchup that I'm looking at thinking, there's no way I can make money here. There's no way. And even if, you know, you put down half a unit on your prediction and you get it right, you know, you kind of you'd feel dirty trying to make money on this one. Guys, my prediction, I'm going to go with Randa Markos to end the losing streak. Get some top control, maybe wear on Livinha Souza, but like I said, it's just a nasty matchup. And when we normally say nasty matchup, we're talking about, you know, a nasty matchup. But this one it's not good. Yeah, my numbers on this one, I'm going to keep them both minus 110. Really, what the UFC should do is make this a pink slips. You know, the loser has to go, you know. That would make the matchup more interesting. And the actual numbers, we've got Randa Markos plus 110. Livinha Souza minus 120. You know, those numbers pretty much represent what you have here. I don't know what we have here. It's not good. You know, don't bet on this one. Alright, my homies. You know what time it is. It's time for a smoke break.
It's just different.
If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, triple amen, gang. Let's go. Hey, I hope all of you guys are doing well, doing blessed, having a good day, having a good week, man. Alright, the smoke break question, because we've been doing some fire on these smoke break questions. Now the question for you this week, guys, who is your favourite UFC fighter, not of all time, but in 2021? You know, who is that one fighter in 2021 where you're saying to yourself, do you know what? This fighter is pretty nasty. They're pretty nasty. So that's my smoke break question. You know, 2 smoke breaks ago we had what was your favourite smoke drink combination. And then last week we had what song would you walk out to if you was a fighter. By the way, guys, man, so many decent walkout songs in the comment section. Man, someone put the comment, I'm walking out to La Bamba. No jokes. La 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 bamba. But yeah, man, that's the question this week. Who is your favourite UFC fighter in 2021? It has to be this year. Who is your favourite fighter this year? Alright guys, here's my Instagram at UFCLay. Here's my Patreon, UFCGA. Man, we went heavy on Manon Fiorot last week. You know, we've got her lined up in some parlays already for this week. So yeah, that half of the parlay is already down. We just need a couple fighters on this card to bring it in. You know, cash that parlay. Now the smoke break topic, guys, I just want to do a quick reminder of this topic. We've done this topic many times on this channel before, but we're going to do it because the channel continues to grow. We're nearly at 11k subscribers now, which is just insane. Smoke break topic. Purpose. Every single human on this planet has purpose. We all have purpose. Finding your purpose, you know, finding the, man, what's the meaning of my life? What's the purpose? What am I put here to do? Finding that can be very difficult. You know, it's a difficult thing. But there is a couple ways that you do find your purpose. Firstly, you know, most of the time, your purpose finds you. You know, you don't find the purpose finds you. Now, if you're somebody who's thinking, hey, no purpose has found me, I would say this. What did you love to do, or what was your favourite thing as a kid? Because usually, man, you can find that thing you love the most. You can find it if you look back to your early days being alive, right? And I've said this on the channel before, I say it again. I was the biggest WWE fan ever, or WWF, as a kid. I was the biggest fan. You know, I said it and I'll say it again. And there's no shame in it, man, no shame. I even went to school with the strap as a kid because I really believed I was the champion, you know? So when I look at what I'm doing now with breaking down fights and speaking about fights, you know, it goes hand in hand. What I loved as a kid, now I'm doing like the adult version as an adult, right? This is my purpose. And the thing with purpose, guys, before we end the smoke break, your purpose doesn't have to be great to anyone else. That's the great thing about being alive, man, being a human. Everyone has a different purpose. You know, your purpose might be, let's say you love to drive cars. You know, to someone else that might be, I don't know about that. But your purpose is your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the smoke break topic, guys. And the smoke break question, like I said, who is your favourite UFC fighter in 2021? Alright guys, make sure you smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's jump into breaking down these matchups. Alright, we've got Dwight Grant taking on Francisco Trinaldo. And this matchup is a little bit like Randa, Markos and Livinha Souza, but not in the aspect that both fighters ain't great, right? I don't want to disrespect Francisco Trinaldo because he's a lifelong mixed martial artist. You know, he is a good fighter, but he is 43 years old. Dwight Grant, on the flip side, you know, there is a problem with this guy. The output is not good enough. You look at the fight against Zach Otto. I think Dwight Grant won this matchup, but when you have 10 strikes around, it's easy to make a mistake judging. To be honest, man, these judges make a mistake when it's not easy to make a mistake. So when you're putting out 10 strikes around, yeah, it's no shock to me that he got a split loss here. Dwight Grant, in my opinion, you know, this guy has a lot of power. He has split wins over Alan Jaban and against Stefan Sekulic. Got TKO'd by Daniel Rodrigues, which was a great comeback, by the way. Big comeback from Daniel Rodrigues. But the fact that Daniel had to come back, you know, kind of shows you what Dwight Grant is about. You know, he's looking to knock you out. He's not looking to rack up points. If you look at Francisco Trinaldo against, let's say, Alex Hernandez, you know, how many of you guys remember that fight? Francisco Trinaldo maybe should have got the win. He had all the pressure, but did he have the striking? Francisco Trinaldo had all the pressure, but isn't landing many strikes. Same as Dwight Grant. And the reason why Francisco isn't landing many strikes is because he's 43 years old. You know, 42, 43 years old, man. So he has more of an excuse than Dwight Grant when it comes to inactivity. You know, is this matchup going to be low output? Probably. So if you're trying to score these rounds, you know, it could just be the guy who lands the heavier punch, like 4 minutes into the round. And that fighter might be Dwight Grant. But at the same time, I don't want to pick against the better fighter. The better fighter is Francisco Trinaldo. But the better fighter is fighting above his weight class and he's 43 years old. You know, it's one of those ones again where I can't see myself being confident to make money in this matchup. But just for the sake of the breakdown, as we always do, I'm still going to give you my prediction. I'm going to take Dwight Grant. Purely because he's fighting a 43-year-old man, and maybe in the last, say, 6 months, maybe he's looked at his game and said, you know what, I need to up the pace. I need to have a higher output. So if he can do that, keep a higher output, land the bigger strikes, I'm going to say he beats Francisco Trinaldo. My numbers though, based on the breakdown I just gave you, I'm going to keep them close. I'm going to put Dwight Grant minus 130. And the actual numbers, we've got Dwight Grant plus 100. So the bookies are saying, you know, Dwight Grant 50-50. We don't know. He might land the bigger punches. He might be inactive. We don't know. What we do know is Francisco Trinaldo is a better mixed martial artist, but he's 43. And that's why we still don't know. So yeah, the betting line is close. Rightfully so. My prediction's going to be Dwight Grant. I'm just not confident. Alright, we've got Alex Caceres taking on Seung Choi. Now Alex Caceres, let's be honest. Guys, I'm going to be harsh, but I'm going to be honest. And sometimes, you know, being honest is being harsh. And I'm going to do that. Alex Caceres is in the UFC because he has a fun style. And that's it. You know, some people may look at his record and see the 4 wins in a row that he's put together. And I give him credit for that. You know, good job for that. But when you look at the opposition, Steven Peterson, you know, a guy who can be beat. Chase Hooper, who has no striking. Austin Springer and Kevin Kroom. You know, all of these guys are beatable. Now, Seung Choi isn't the next Conor McGregor of the featherweight division, but this guy is pretty nasty. You know, you look at the striking work against Julian Erosa. Complete obliteration. You know, he looked big in there against Youssef Zalal. Just a guy who is a pretty violent striker, in all honesty. The way I see this matchup going down, I think Alex Caceres is going to try to use his style, his unorthodox Bruce Leroy style. But the sting, yeah, Seung Choi, the sting is going to be the difference. And that's going to be the striking power, the meaning in the strikes behind Woo Choi. That's going to be the difference. So I'll take Seung Choi. Could be a TKO, could be a decision. But I'm pretty confident he's going to win this fight. My numbers, man, out of 10 times, I would say Alex Caceres maybe loses 8 times. It's a little bit harsh. And the actual numbers, the bookies completely disagree with me. We've got Seung Choi minus 270. So they're saying, you know, he should be a favourite. But they're giving Alex Caceres, you know, a plus 200 chance. I think it should be more. Yeah, I'd give Seung Choi a more chance of winning, to be honest. You know, his striking is just more meaningful. It's powerful. You know, a nasty Muay Thai guy. You know, if Alex Caceres can prove me wrong, you know, put 5 together in a row, then all the credit in the world. But I'm going to say Choi wins this one. Alright, moving into Nick Negumereanu taking on IK Villanueva. Starting with Negumereanu. So, Nick Negumereanu got out-grappled in his UFC debut, but then he had a nice win against Alexa Khama. Man, I remember picking Nick in that fight and he was like a plus 200 underdog. Just made no sense. You know, Alexa Khama has like 7 pro fights. The betting line just made no sense. If you look at the foundation of Nick Negumereanu, it does appear to be wrestling, which is kind of surprising when you look at the UFC debut, you know, getting out wrestled. Now, he isn't coming up against a wrestler. He's coming up against IK Villanueva, the Hurricane. This man is looking to sleep ya. His UFC career hasn't gone too well at the moment, you know, getting stopped by Jordan Wright with a doctor stoppage. So that doctor stoppage kind of tells us that, you know, there's a bit of scar tissue with IK. If you can open up a cut, you know, you can stop him like that. You look at what he done to Vinicius Moreira, who is a grappler, not a wrestler, but a jiu-jitsu guy, who has no striking. So yeah, that was a nice win for IK. Now his most recent fight, got completely by Marcin Prachnio. Really nasty body kick. Now Nick Negumereanu isn't kicking people the way Marcin Prachnio is. So looking at this matchup, I would assume that Nick is going to try to grapple and IK is going to try sleep him. Nick was able to beat Alexa Khama, who only had 7 pro fights. Man, it is a difficult prediction to make because I can kind of see IK winning that stand-up battle. Not because he's this elite striker, but just because he's a little bit nasty. You know, he's not elite, but he's going to throw heavy power. And that might be enough to beat Nick Negumereanu when it comes to kickboxing. But then you do worry about Nick's takedowns. It's a difficult fight, guys, but I'm going to take IK Villanueva. You know, he's not as inexperienced as Alexa Khama. IK has he has 30 pro fights. So yeah, good matchup. Difficult prediction to make. Yeah, my numbers, I'd keep them close. I'd put IK... You know what, I put them both minus 110. And we've got IK Villanueva plus 200. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Write this down. You get to heaven and you don't find me there. You have gone to hell.
You know, like I was saying, Nikolai was a big underdog against Khama. It didn't make sense. Now you've got, in my opinion, the same thing. You know, maybe Nikolai can prove me wrong, show me that it's going to be the wrestling. But yeah, I think the betting line is a little bit crazy. I'm going to take Villanueva. Alright, moving into Jessica Rose Clark taking on Joselyne Edwards. Man, again, this one is a difficult prediction to make. And let me tell you why I believe it's a difficult prediction. So when you take a look at Jessica Rose Clark, she has good experience in the UFC. You know, look at the girls she's fought. Beck Rollins, Paige Van Zandt, Jessica Ai, Pani Kianzad, Sarah Alpar. So the experience is there for Jessica Rose Clark. You look at what she done to Sarah Alpar too. You know, just a bloodbath. Nasty, nasty performance. Now the reason why I believe it's a difficult prediction, when you take a look at Joselyne Edwards, the boxing of Joselyne, it's nice. You know, it's nice to look at. But here's the problem. When you look at Jessica Rose Clark's last fight and you see how dirty that fight was, you know, getting close, opening her up with nasty strikes, grappling, you know, putting on a clinical mixed martial arts performance. When you see that, you can kind of see Jessica grappling with Joselyne. You know, in a perfect world, Joselyne Edwards, if we can keep this just boxing, you know, she might look like a world beater. But if Jessica Rose Clark on the flip side says, yo, we ain't going to be boxing like this. I'm going to take you to the mat and I'm going to smash you. If she has that mindset, you know, boxing, kicking, grappling against the fence, going to the mat, she's doing it all, then Jessica Rose Clark's going to be the winner. As always, it comes down to who can get in there and implement their style. I do see Joselyne having success with the boxing, but like I said, man, I can see Jessica Rose Clark being a veteran. And that's why this one's a difficult prediction to make. I'm going to side with Jessica Rose Clark. You know, I just hope that she doesn't want to box for too long with Joselyne. You know, we can box for a couple minutes, but after that, we're level changing. We're making the fight ugly. We're mixing it up. We're making it a mixed martial arts fight. And that's how I see Jessica Rose winning. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction. My numbers, I'd put Jessica Rose minus 130. And the actual numbers, we've got Joselyne Edwards plus 100. Jessica Rose minus 130. So yeah, man, the line is close because, you know, it can be a clear win for Jessica if she fights her fight. It can be a clear win for Joselyne if she can just box. So yeah, man, it's a good one. Alright, my homies, we've got Grant Dawson taking on Ricky Glenn, who used to be called Rick Glenn, but now it's Ricky Glenn. You know, kind of the same thing. Alright, I'm pretty confident with my prediction on this one. And the reason why I'm confident, when you look at Grant Dawson, he has literally done the same thing every fight. Every single fight, it's been the same thing. You know, if you haven't seen Grant Dawson inside the octagon before, this guy's a wrestler. You know, he's looking to wrestle. You know, whether it's he pushes you against the fence and it's octagon control, or he takes you to the mat. Grant Dawson is ultimately looking to wrestle you, to control you. You know, he got the latest stoppage ever in his last fight with 1 second on the clock. You know, so anyone who bet fight to go the distance, oh man. But yeah, looking at the wrestling of Grant Dawson, you know, I'd kind of have to say that it's even getting better. It's getting better fight by fight. And it's not like it's just top control and I just want to lay here. You know, he's ground and pounding you. He's looking to submit you. When you go to the mat, Grant Dawson is looking to finish you. So ultimately what we've got to say here, if Ricky Glenn wins this one, he's the first guy to stop Grant Dawson from wrestling. When I think of Ricky Glenn, I don't see this guy doing that. I just do not see that happening. Now Ricky got a nice quick win, really quick, against Silva. You know, if he can go in there and do that to Grant Dawson, then hey, shout out to Ricky Glenn. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I see Grant Dawson continuing this domination of the wrestling. You know, if you put a Russian flag next to Grant Dawson instead of the USA flag, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You really wouldn't, man. This guy he's dominant with the wrestling. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction, guys. If this matchup happened 10 times, I would say Ricky maybe gets a finish at most 1 time. And the other time it's maybe a split decision. So I'm going to give Grant Dawson a 80% probability, minus 400. And the actual numbers, we've got Grant Dawson minus 300, which is less than an 80% probability. So potentially some value at the moment on the Grant Dawson line. Alright my homies, main event, we've got Paulo Costa taking on Marvin Vettori. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't Hamzat smashed the like button, or Adesanya style on the like button, please go ahead and do that. And I mention Adesanya because Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa, they're both victims. They're both victims of Israel Adesanya. And I mention that because Paulo Costa's last fight was the title fight against Israel Adesanya. And Marvin Vettori's last fight, it was the title fight against Adesanya. And yeah, man, it was total obliteration for both guys, to be honest. Paulo Costa got stopped. Marvin Vettori didn't get stopped, but round by round it looked bad. But it's okay to look bad against Israel Adesanya, arguably the best striker in the UFC. So yeah, there's no shame in that. Now speaking about Paulo Costa, what is this guy good at? He's got a really, really powerful body kick. You know, he's nasty. If he catches you with a powerful hook, a powerful 1-2, you know, you can go to sleep. Now Marvin Vettori, this guy isn't as powerful as Paulo Costa, but he's got different qualities. You know, he has maybe better cardio than Paulo Costa. He's maybe a better wrestler than Paulo. Has the 5-round experience. You know, just a guy who's willing to go far to win. And he tried to go far with Adesanya. You know, he went round in, round out, and he stayed in the fight, but it was never looking like it was his fight. You know what I mean? So if he tries to stick in there round by round against Paulo Costa, you haven't got a guy that's moving the way Israel Adesanya's moving. You know, if you try to stick in there round in, round out with Paulo, it might look better. But arguably what you've got in Paulo Costa is still a dangerous guy. You know, if Marvin is going to try to trade with Paulo, he might get slept. You know, if I'm Marvin Vettori, I'm looking to grapple. I'm looking to wrestle Paulo Costa. Just make him tired. You know, blow his muscles up. Put blood in the arms. Fatigue him. If I'm Paulo Costa, I'm trying to come into this fight with really good cardio. You know, I'm trying to come into this fight in the best shape of my life. Prepared to go 25 minutes. Because if Paulo Costa tries to knock him out and you get into round 2, towards the end of round 2, you know, who's going to be ready to go an extra 15? Probably Marvin Vettori. You know, so if I'm Paulo, like I said, man, I'm coming into this fight in arguably the best shape of my life. I'm ready to go 25. Inside the first 10 minutes, I would say Paulo Costa is live to get that stoppage. After those 10 minutes, you know, you're probably going to see Marvin Vettori ready to go longer, ready to go harder, you know? And ultimately, man, when you listen to my breakdown, I would say this is a pick'em. It's a pick'em main event. Pick'em main events don't always play out as pick'ems, as we've just seen with Aspen Ladd and Norman Dumont. Man, Aspen Ladd, you gotta throw. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. Credit to Norma Dumont, man. She won every round. Maybe not round 5, but at that point, you still give it to Norma, you know? But yeah, guys, Paulo Costa, Marvin Vettori, it's a great main event. Paulo Costa is live for that KO inside the first 10 minutes, even though Marvin Vettori has never been stopped. So is this potentially the first time that Marvin Vettori does get stopped? Maybe. You know, we know Paulo Costa is powerful enough to stop Marvin. It's really what it always is. You know, whoever comes into this matchup and can implement what they need to do, that's going to be the winner. Inside the first 10 minutes, I want to see Paulo Costa try to knock out Marvin Vettori. After those 10 minutes, he has to be ready to go longer. If Marvin Vettori is still in this matchup after 10 minutes, if he's ready to still go, he's going to be the winner. My prediction, guys, I'm not confident either side. I think it's a great main event. I'm not going to bet on it. There's no way. But my prediction, I'm going to take Paulo Costa to get a stoppage inside those first 10 minutes. And if he doesn't, I hope you're ready to go 25. Because, man, if you're not, you know it's Marvin Vettori on the mic after the fight. Great main event, guys. I'm going to go Team Brazil. My numbers on this one, I'm going to keep them both minus 110. And that's not me, you know, trying to sit on the fence. My pick is Brazil. My pick is Paulo Costa. The chances of Paulo getting a stoppage is equally as likely as Marvin being a veteran. And that's why it's such a good main event. We're getting closer to the pay-per-view. You can smell it. We're getting closer. Now the actual numbers. We've got Marvin Vettori minus 120. Minus 130. Paulo Costa plus 100, plus 110. So yeah, man, if you're going to bet on the main event, don't go too heavy. There is much better fights you can bet on with confidence. But, you know, if you are confident in your prediction on the main event, go ahead. Alright, guys, leave down your parlays, your underdogs, straight bets, main event prediction, all of that good stuff. And my homies, as always, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. Peace.